very good morning RKPians. Once again, I welcome you all to RKP online classes. Alright, so we'll continue with lesson 3, right? And please open your books at page number 38, right? So I hope you have answered the questions which I asked in my last video, right? So yes, so now so far we know that the king challenged Gopal, right, to bring a Hilsa fish to the court, and no one should talk about the Hilsa fish on the way to him, right? And Gopal has already accepted the challenge. Now let's see what happens next, right? Okay, now a few days later, so you can see in the picture, he is looking really weird. Okay, he's looking strange. Why? Because he had beard earlier, right? And now he has shaved his face only half, right? So now his wife is shocked to see this, right? And she says, why is your half face shaven, right? Then he says, I'm dressing up to buy a Hilsa, right? So he was going to buy a Hilsa, and that was the reason he did this to his face. What is going on in his mind? Let's find out. What's the matter with you? Why are you smearing yourself with ash? Okay, now next, what did he do next? He just took some ash. Ash is when we burn something, right? The residue, whatever is left there, that is ash, right? The gray colored, right? So what did he do? He just took the ash and smeared on his body and face. Now what is the meaning of smear? Smear. To put something, or we can also say to coat something on your body or a surface, right? So that is called smear. So Gopal smeared ash on his face and body, right? His wife was really shocked to see this, right? And she asked him, what are you doing? Why are you smearing the ash on your body and face, right? Then he says, I told you, I'm dressing up to buy a Hilsa fish. Now, he has some plan in his head, I'm sure. And that is why he was doing all this, right? Now, listen to me. Please, you can't possibly go out in those disgraceful rags. What are you up to? Now, after doing all this, so he just started moving out, right? And his wife was running behind him. Stop you there. You cannot go out like this, right? And she says, disgraceful. Disgraceful means shameful, right? Disgraceful means shameful. Shameful. And rags. Rags means torn clothes. Torn clothes, right? So his wife says, what are you up to? What are you up to means, what are you going to do? What is going in your head, right? What are you planning, right? How many times must I tell you, woman? I'm out to buy a huge Hilsa fish. And again, Gopal has the same answer, right? I am going to buy a huge Hilsa fish. And how many times should I tell you the same thing, right? Now, it's happened to him. He's gone mad. Now, his wife is really worried now. And she thinks that, her husband has gone mad, right? Now, when he was going on the way, the people were looking at him. They were shocked to see him, right? And actually, nobody could recognize that he was Gopal, right? And they were talking to themselves, right? Gopal bought the Hilsa fish and started walking towards the palace. So he has done his first thing. He has already purchased the Hilsa fish now, right? And he started walking towards the palace. Now, there are people who are talking. So there is a small boy who is saying, "Mother, mother, look at that man. Isn't he comical?" So this boy says, "Mama, look at that man. He looks comical." Comical means funny. Funny, right? Something which or who makes you laugh. Like, oh my God, this is so funny. Okay? Then there is somebody else who says, "He must be a madman." Okay? Madman is silly man, crazy man. "Hush, I think he is a mystic." Right? Hush is better an interjection, alright, which means quiet. Shh. That is hush. Okay? And he says, "I think he's a mystic." Now, mystic is a person, someone who talks to God. Alright? So people had different kind of reactions regarding Gopal, right? When Gopal reached the court, now, oh my God, so Gopal has done his half work, right? Now he is already there at the palace, right? But he was standing at the gate. Now the guards asked him, "What do you want? Why are you standing here?" So he says, "I want to see the king." Now when we say "I want to see," that means I want to meet. Okay? Now, "You can't see the king. Get away from here." Right? And the guard, he just shouts on him, "Excuse me, you are not allowed to meet the king." Right? So just go away from here. Get lost. Right? Gopal began to dance and sing loudly, right? So when the guards denied the entry, he just started singing very loudly, right? So that the king could hear him, okay? So the king concentrates and he hears something, right? "The man is crazy. Throw him out at once. I want to see the king. Let me in." King heard the conversation which was going on between the guard and Gopal, right? Now the king says, "Bring that man to me at once." Okay, so he orders his guard to bring that man in his court in front of him, right? And the guards follow. Gopal was brought before the king, right? Now, it's Gopal, right? So there were a few courtiers who could recognize Gopal and they said, "Yes, it's Gopal, right?" Now, the man has lost his mind. I think it's one of his crazy jokes. Now, one of the courtiers said, "This man has gone mad. He has gone out of his senses." And the other one said, "I think it's again, he's playing some kind of prank and it's again one of his jokes," right? Now, the king says, "All right, Gopal, out with it." Now, out with it means what is going on? Tell me everything now. Tell me everything, right? "Why are you dressed up in this ridiculous fashion?" Right? So the king asks, Why are you dressed in this way? You are looking terrible. You are looking so bad. What is the reason behind that? Now, Gopal says, Your Majesty, you seem to have forgotten something. And then he tries to remind him, Sir, you have forgotten about that thing, right? And then the king, he's surprised. Forgotten something? What have I forgotten? Then Gopal says, Strangely enough, no one seems to be interested in Hilsa fish today. From the market to the palace and in the court, not a soul has spoken a word about Hilsa fish. And then he shows the Hilsa fish in his hand and he says, Wow, what a wonderful day today. And it seems so different. Why? Because nobody is interested in Hilsa fish today, right? So he says, I started from the market and now I have reached the court, and from there till here, not even a single person asked me about this fish, right? And the moment he said so, the king says, Ha ha ha. Well, Gopal, congratulations. You have achieved the impossible once again. As usual, Gopal proved himself, and once again he made something impossible possible, right? So I hope you enjoyed this interesting lesson. If you have any doubt, please do not hesitate to ask me. Thank you so much.